Happy afternoon. It is Wednesday. I need to share this out. Where's my window? I'm trying the no getting started screen today. I've been noticing a lot of streamers have been stopping doing that, just going straight to I'm live. I wonder if it's because of the restream thing, because that makes it a little bit more confusing, doesn't it? But anyways, hello. How you all doing today? Let me load up my YouTube view too. Okay, so I've got chat down there. I got chat over here. I could have other chat. Oh, I could have other chat over here too. But that's fine. All right, so what are we working on today? So this morning we were working on the extensions lesson, and we sort of realized that that's not really going to work, is it? Because there's just too much in extensions that is required for, like, we need to do middleware stuff almost first. Or rather, I need to do like extensions. It's all... Because like it's almost I want to do like, or maybe break it out into two different types of extensions, right? We have extensions in middleware. I'm going back and forth on this a lot because there's extensions for routing, which like, okay, this is up here. I still don't know exactly where I want to put this. So you're just going out here somewhere. Opus Bopus, hello. How are you doing today? Oh, that's a visual, something your brain can't parse well. Sorry, I left all these didn't follow in. Let me get rid of these. All of this stuff was things that I moved over here to be in an order. So sorry about that. Oops SS. Hello. I wish one I will receive a notification like the course is complicated. I would say yes, this course is complicated. I'm trying to take something and make sure that it's complicated rather than complex. And that's where all the difficulty comes in. But also, hello, oops. How are you doing today? So yeah, we got all of this stuff done too. Well, sort of. We have multiple routers in here. How servers work. Like, this is a lot of theory stuff. I'm not exactly sure where I would want to throw that. So I'm just going to sort of like, it's down here somewhere. Xanax, hello. How are you doing? You're also just really bad at visuals and such. Let's say the white text on the green and white. Oh, yeah, this is like, I don't know why I don't know how, if it was me that chose that or if that was it that chose that. It was probably me at one point in time. I don't know why. Everything else is black on green. And somehow I just did that, and it's just like, yeah, it's a thing. But yeah, so I had broken the course up into different sort of sections. So we had introduction, miscellaneous, routing. We've already gotten the introduction stuff done. We still need to create the trailer. Miscellaneous is like mostly done. We still have this one, and it's like somewhere, I'm not exactly sure where I want to put this because it's all theory, right? And so like I'm gonna put it down here, and then I might play around with like order of everything later. Routing, so multiple routers is, this one might be a good next one to do, actually. Did I like say what I was going to work on this? No, I just said creating a course. Cool. It's like maybe this will be next. And we'll do multiple routers. So like to get to extensions. So okay, to get to extensions, we need multiple routers to get to there. But then having at least simple middleware would be really good too. Headers and being able to do headers might be better than multiple routers even. So if I do something like that, oh, you have bad autocomplete? That's okay. Once we do headers, we have that assessment we can do. I think I heard Zilby just running around dragging something upstairs on the floor. That's fun. Okay, so we have running middleware in a nested router. We have just normal. Okay, so basically we have different, we have a guarded mirror. So if we do, then before extensions, do like that brings us a guarded mirror. Oh, you wanted to say you wish one day you would receive a notification like the course has been completed. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't have a, well, I don't have a way to do a push notification, do I? You know, there is an API in browsers, but I don't have time to work on it. I wish I had time to work on like creating web notifications, because like theoretically I can make it so you could subscribe to a course in the LMS, and then I can say it's ready live, and then you get a push notification saying like, hey, it's ready, go and do that through your browser, which is like, there's nothing technically stopping me from doing that. It's just, you know, time. So I guess I guess that it will be through Discord, YouTube, and X Twitter, things like that is where you're going to get the notification. But obviously, like, look, there's so much to do. Now, we do have CRM. So I'm actually going to completely remove CRM, and we're just going to use the SQL X course for this one. And it's going to be fine. And then like in the future I can do it on. So that's a decent chunk of stuff. And some of these are going to be fairly short. Like my security TLS one is going to be telling people don't put TLS inside of Axum. Stop it. I keep on seeing people trying to do that over and over and over again. And the general best like use case for it is to, well, actually there's no best use case for putting TLS in Axum. What you want to do is you want to put TLS in a like reverse proxy or a load balancer or something like that that sits on top of Axum. That's usually what you want to do. Okay, so if I do that, we validate. Running middleware and nested. So like maybe running middleware and then extensions are probably could go there. We can finally do cores. Then I can sort of view. We don't have this Docker stuff, so I'd probably have to do something like a very quick setup Docker, run our Postgres in Docker, run our Axum in Docker. That's you. Now it does sort of feel like all of the rest of the stuff is just doing things, right? So after the extensions, maybe after you is time for us to say like, okay, now that you've got some practical stuff, let's do theory, and then the rest of it is sort of like little stuff that's fun. Okay, integration tests, like how to do integration tests, unit testing. Set up Thunderclient for manual testing. Ooh, this. I might want to put that up here. Because like if you have Thunderclient set up, then it just makes it easier to sort of see what's going on down here. Maybe I even do that here. Deploying. Okay, so GitHub Actions. Set up GitHub Actions to check listings and formatting. Okay, so just basic setup of GitHub Actions to run tests. Okay, so GitHub Actions to run test. Listing formatting. Manually deploy to shuttle. Auto deploy to shuttle. So that would be then down here. TLS, we could just throw in down here is like what that means. Project, we got requirements. This would be like the live version of it. So I do want to do a sort of a live course run through. And then maybe I can do like an optional if you just bought it on your own. And then web server stuff. Okay, so serving static files. And that's kind of a big deal, isn't it? So something like this. Where do you go in? So like probably before we start doing other stuff. It would have to be after middleware. It could be before this. And then you're done. Okay. So then this is my full list. This is tiny for me even. but it's now in like a top to bottom order. So now I can zoom in and look through what needs to be done. So everything that has a clear background, that's been uploaded and is in the LMS right now. So is ready to be like viewed, as it were. Trailer I always do last. Okay, so this one is probably the best one to do. Set up Thunderclient for manual testing. I don't think... Yeah, I did not create a I did not create an article for that. We'll just call this Thunderclient. All right, so Thunderclient is a free. Is it open source too? At least it's a free extension for VS Code. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to, I guess, like install Thunderclients. Install the extension and use Thunderclients to send a... Not hitting him with that Insomnia? Nope, I'm not. Well, Insomnia is Mac only, right? So I want something that I know can work on every single operating system. Zilby, you want to come over here, hang out with us? You don't have to like just immediately leave the room after coming in. Hi, Zilby. Hold on, let me grab her really quickly. Zilby being his cute. No, you don't want to. Okay. Oh, it should be oh, right. But you know what the other problem with Insomnia that we just found out is? In the latest update, they now tell you that you have to have an account, a cloud account, to use it. Otherwise, you're stuck with one collection at most, which probably is okay. Crosshead, hello. How are you doing today? I know, Zilby is super cute. And he said hi to the camera too. Are you just walking back and forth? You wanna come? There's a chair right next to the heater over here if you want. I think they are trying to go full Postman, which I don't like. Never go full Postman. I know. Like I used to love Postman. First they started getting slow because they started adding every feature you could possibly ever imagine. Okay, well Zilby wants out, so he left the room. And then next, they're like really stingy on like allowing your the accounts and everything else. I think that didn't Postman they have a VC, they're VC backed, right? So they have they now have like obligations to investors to like have a return on investment, which I can see the need to take investment money, especially for some applications and all that stuff. But at the same time, like from a user, I feel like our interests aren't really in their concerns. Like that's what it feels like. It feels like they're really trying to like lock us in and then force us to pay lots of money. So the only thing I like about Insomnia is the scripting, but it's not that big of a selling point. I keep on thinking that like, okay, this next month or this next year, I'm gonna finally have to, because like now that we've had Postman and Insomnia and Paw and Thunderclient, now that we've had those tools, I never want to go back to just using curl all the time. I want some kind of like nice interface. But every single one of them, except so far Thunderclient, has turned into something that tries to like take money from you, but not giving me more in value in exchange for that money that especially other free clients have. So like one of these days I might just like create a thin wrapper around curl to make it a little bit easier to use, and we'll just use that. Unless one already exists. Are there any good wrappers around curl? Like a Postman for CLI? Because that would be pretty cool. We can use the Pokemon API for this too. Oh wait, there's an actual test that allows us to do all sorts of, yeah, so I think that works. Okay, content. A TUI curl, that's the dream. You know, and I wonder if Anathema will be good for that. Like I wonder if like once Anathema is out, which is Togglebits, a TUI that he's made, which I think he's still like wrapping up some things on, but it's getting really close. I bet somebody can make a really cool like Thunderclient / Postman / whatever in that. Okay. Content. So let's do, first of all, Thunderclient might have a good tutorial out there already, and I could just tell people, go try that. It's good. Oh, there's a free code camp article for it. I could, okay, so there's that. There's that. You have a website. Oh, what? Whose idea was that? That is impossible to read this text. Dottie, hello. How's your day been? That sounds like a decent project. Added to your endless list of projects you never finish. I know. The only way I'm ever going to make projects now is going to be if I can somehow tie them into a course that I'm going to build. Not because I just want to make money off of all of you, but because that's just the only way I'm going to convince myself to actually finish something. That's just sad. Okay, so do you have a pricing? I mean, you're cheap. So you get the extension, you get 30 collection runs. That's pretty good. What does that mean though? Huh, you can do with if you pay them, you get to get sync, so you can sync your Thunderclient connections across your projects or like across. That sounds pretty cool. You get a CLI. That might be what I'm talking about, essentially. CI/CD integration, interesting. Environments. Okay, so right now we can do environments. We can do okay, unlimited collect. Oh, requests per collection. Got it. So the number. Okay, for most projects, especially all the ones I'm going to use, this is going to be fine. Collections runs monthly. They say 2 here, and they only have a 1 here. Okay. Interesting. 30 per user. I can swear that I've run more than 30. I can verify that really quickly. Hold on. 30 per month, right? I don't want to hit the Pokemon API a lot really quickly. What's an API that I can hit that I won't feel bad about? Oh, I can hit my own server, can I? I won't feel bad about hitting that a lot. It's cached. Okay, so I want to go Thunderclient. I guess I'll create a collection. So test. New request. Test. Okay, so this gives me can actually see no test results available. I can't actually see like the. Okay, well, whatever. I get the code. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm over 30. Seems to be fine with that. So I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure what collection runs means then. The fact that it's costing them nothing for a request but charge for it is mind-boggling. So I don't think it is, because I just ran over 30 and that just runs. So like I'm not really sure what collection runs means. It has this little 2 here, but they didn't put a 2 down here. So like it feels like they forgot to mention what that means. Okay, that takes me there. Okay, that's not. Wait a second. No, okay, this takes me to the marketplace. Okay, so it's not like its own thing. I am super confused by this. There's apparently an Insomnium fork of Insomnia that is open source. Oh, that's pretty cool. We could take a look at that later. I would probably want to wait to see if they're going to update it, or if it's just going to stay static for a long time. This has been pretty good. Like Thunderclient, if you're using VS Code, Thunderclient is very good. I'm just confused about whatever that means. Support on GitHub. Email priority support if you're enterprise. Payment by info. Okay, yeah, definitely features. Payment options. Okay. I mean, this is pretty cool. Encrypted environments. If you're in something that if you're in an environment that needs to be like everything encrypted, then that's actually pretty cool to have. Insomnium is just Insomnia without the auth BS. You can't believe they did that. I mean, are they VS? Are they VC backed? Did they get purchased or something? Because like then it makes sense. Or maybe they're just following with everybody else and just hoping to make some money on it. Crosshead, hello. Maybe the limit could be referred to CLI. I mean, possibly, but you would think that they would be a little bit more specific about it. I am like curious. They show that there should be more information here to tell us what that means. And it looks like they failed to state that. Where are you? Because that is sitting right there as a 0 by 0. That's what it is. Okay, hold on. Collection runs monthly, has a little 2 on it, and that means local collection runner limits. There is no limit for collection runs in CI/CD. Kong is probably VC backed. You don't know for sure though. Yeah, so I guess like the problem and the reason why the VC back thing is not necessarily a problem, but it can like help be a predictor of like what's going to happen. The VCs are in it to make money, right? Like that's there. It's an investment. So they give some money and experience and advice to the startups, and in return, the idea is that the company does good, and then the return is hopefully 100 times of what they put into it. And they're not looking for like 4% or even 10%, because you can get those type of returns with like stock investing. They're looking for like high risk, like super high risk, super high rewards. They're looking for like hundreds of times of return on investment. And oftentimes the VCs will have to repay the investors into the VCs on like a 5, 7, 8, or 10-year cycle, which that's why you see so many startups shut down after 10 years, is because they lose all their VC funding after that. It's like, okay, you're either going to go big in 10 years, or we're gonna switch over and invest in somebody new. At the very least, it was open source under a permissive enough license to hard fork, but sad still. Yeah, it is. So there's no limit for collection run. So wait. Collection runs. Can I just run? Oh, that's what it is. I can do a run all. This is a collection run. Okay. So, okay, this is not 2 iterations. I can do in parallel or sequential. Oh, so I can use this. Here, do it 30 times. With no delay. Hit my server 30 times instantly. Iterations are not supported in free version. Okay. That's what it is. Okay, got it. You love me some Shark Tank every Friday night at 8 p.m. Shark Tank is fun. It's fun to watch, like those celebrity VCs like chat about stuff. So it's super fun to see. And some of those companies, like, yeah, it would be very hard to do any kind of like physical manufacturing stuff just bootstrapped. Like you need some kind of like money to get going. Like things that what I'm doing though is like I don't need it because my operating costs aren't high enough to warrant that. Which is why I can easily say that I have no plans to become VC backed. And therefore, I won't do things like charge you all for like, the privilege to possibly buy some courses. Once per month. Okay. This is cool. Okay, so this is okay. So it looks like a Thunderclient has been adding a lot of cool features. And they're super cheap, and then the free tier is perfectly fine. So I'm still okay with suggesting Thunderclient. Now that we know what this is, I don't think I've never used this. I didn't even realize it existed. So manual runs, that's free forever. These runs are where they're getting you. So that's cool. Now, do you have instructions? Do you have like a getting started? You have usage for that. Oh, you have some, okay, so you have some things over there. Do you have actually documentation? Wait, that's a Medium article. This is just your website. Okay. So they have their Thunderclient support page. Looks like it has some pretty good documentation here. So install the connection, click the Thunderclient action or icon. They have links to videos to go check it out. They have features list. It's not perfect documentation. You can use environment variables for it. Okay, so there's some cool stuff here. For super beginners though, this is a little bit much. So let's see. This is what, 2 years ago, but it probably is still pretty much the same. I mean, I can hear it. I don't think you can hear it. Oh, it's literally just music. There's no audio to this. Kevin, hello. How are you doing today? Thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoy it. Okay, so let's go to this video. I think this video is good. Did this one start with like installing it or just once it was installed? It starts with after it's installed. And then this video is, this is longer. This one walks you through a bunch of stuff. Okay. Yeah, I know you can't hear it. First of all, it didn't have any audio. It didn't have any text. It just had some light things. Because I'm watching it on my Mac and I'm streaming from my PC, I don't have the cable set up to do the audio to my PC to do it. I haven't figured out the input for that yet. I bet if I got a long enough cable, I can go to like an input of the computer, read it in, then replay it out, like monitor it through the speakers and then hear it. That's probably what I could do. So I bet if I tried this. Okay, so these two might be good. Oh, this one has how. Is this the same thing that I saw before? This has everything too. This might. I think we looked at this before. Yeah. Okay, so I like. It was okay. All right. We'll send them here. So, okay, so Thunderclient. So, follow the instructions to install and configure. I guess I don't even need content for this. It would just be more of. Here are some resources for installing, configuring, and using Thunderclient and VS Code. So then we're going to get into, we have just probably a list of these things. I could even just do this. So this is the marketplace, right? VS Code, Thunderclient extension. Then right now you're trying hopscotch, but you feel like it's missing variables and collections. Thunderclient does feel pretty full featured these days. That's really nice. So we can do this one next, Thunderclient support. Okay, so we have that. I don't know. Okay, so this would be, I want to actually send him to the YouTube videos. That way James gets credit for this. So I won't embed it. I don't need Postman anymore. Okay, so basically video review, video guide for Postman. And I'll watch the full thing later. Just to make sure it's up to, like, follows at least like sort of like along with my what I feel about it. This is like going to be, the other one I think is going to be better than this. That's the support again. this is an article on it. Wait, this doesn't. Okay, hold on. Stop. Go away. I feel like this is a weird article. In 2021, we launched Thunderclient extension and for VS Code, which is a game changer. Oh, was this actually by them? As we were the first to launch a GUI-based API client inside of VS Code. Today we're launching Thunderclient CLI. Oh, okay. So this is about CLI. I don't care about that. And then they have their website, which that's not helpful. Okay. Kevin, it's late for you. Hope the stream will go well and good night. Well, thank you so much for hanging out for a little bit at least. Have a great night and yeah, have a good night. So I think we have that. And then we'll do our video. So I'll do the same thing and I'll walk through, but I think that these things should get you going. If you have trouble getting Thunderclient installed and configured, please reach out for help on Discord. Okay. Let's see. We don't really have any details like that. And so let's record a video. So this will just be a simple sort of like video lesson of us doing something. I like the Pokemon API for a lot of testing. I think this is fun. Do you have anything other? I don't think you have anything other than a get. That's the only negative, but I think it's gonna be fine. Free Turts. Hello. How are you doing today? All right, I want to clear all activity. Let's clear the collection out. All right, sorry about that. Hello, Jim. Is YouTube chat working today? Yes, today it's working. So I think we figured out what's going on. I break the restream bot if I use any, if anything from Nightbot sends anything into the Twitch chat, it breaks restream bot for some reason, which is terrible. Like that really sucks. And like I glanced down at restream bot and it seems to work from one direction to the other, but sometimes not the other one. It's like, it's not great. But yes, hello. How are you doing today? Zippy like walked in here and then left immediately. Can I delete you as a collection? So delete you. Environments. I don't think I need to go into environments for this one. I think what we can do is we can do collections. So we can do create a request. We can create a collection. So install. I don't even think there's anything we need to configure for this. I think it's just like dive in, use it, create a request, create a collection, and then we're good to go. So I will not turn on the Nightbot timer for me recording because that will apparently break YouTube chat, which is not fun. So sorry about all that in the past. And I can't even use the thing, otherwise I will break it. So anyways, you all will just have to keep in mind that I am about to record. So let's start here at extensions, Thunderclient. So I'll start here. In fact, you know what? I could just uninstall it and we will start from scratch, from true scratch. What are you yelling at me about? Oh, because you're open on that. Okay. What? Can I open like a new project? Okay, now I don't have any little numbers, no nothing. Everything is just sort of like looking normal. Everything's good. We can open up extensions and then we can go from there. Okay, excellent. And then we're gonna do install, run request using Pokemon API, and that's it. All right, here we go. Recording time. Let's see how often, let's see if we can do this first try. Hello, and welcome to this lesson on Thunderclient. We're going to be using Thunderclient in order to test our APIs in our course. And it doesn't matter what type of API it is. It can be an Axum API, it could be a Node.js Express API, it could be a Laravel API, or it could just be somebody else's API. Thunderclient is a great way to test it. Well, as long as we're using VS Code. And it's a free tool that we can use. It has a very generous free tier that we're not going to sort of use up during, well, any of our courses. So if you, to get this installed, we're going to go over into our extensions and search for Thunderclient. And this is what we're looking for, the purple lightning bolt. So I'm going to go ahead and install that. And we should see that show up right over here on the left. Now there's a couple different ways for us to use this. First, we could just create a request, and then this is just what we use. This is oftentimes what I use where, in my courses, and I'll just also just on my own. When we're doing a request, we have a choice of the type of request we're going to do. So this could be like a get, post, put, delete, basically all the HTTP verbs that we really care about. We can even do custom ones and then put in what we want. We're not going to be worrying about that because all of our requests are going to be one of these types. So let's do a get request. To actually test this out, we're going to go to the Pokemon API. And this allows us to make a get request to this URL and then also ask for like a very specific Pokemon. So in this case, it's going to be Pokemon Ditto. So let's head back here. We're going to do a get request to https pokeapi.co /API v2 Pokemon Ditto. I don't need to set any query parameters. I don't need to set any custom headers, although this is where we can add them in. We can set up auth potentially here. If you do, it's very similar to Postman or any of the other sort of GUI curl-like tools. Like if you ever use Postman or Rapid API, used to be known as PAW, Insomnia, anything like that, it's going to be exactly the same here. If you're doing like a post request, you could put JSON in here. You can even use GraphQL. We're not going to be using that. Well, I shouldn't say we're not going to use that. In the Axum course, we're definitely not going to use that. And the rest of it, we're not going to worry about this. So we're going to hit send, and we get back the JSON. So this is like the big part of what we're going to use a Thunderclient for in, well, pretty much any of our courses. There is something to organizing our sort of queries here that might be useful, and that is the collections. So we can come over to the collections tab, do new collection. So let's say we're creating an API for like a to-do application. So we might call it like to-do app. And now we can create a group of requests. So we'll do new request here. And we'll like, maybe we have a request for like getting all the tasks. So we'll say like get all tasks. And since we've named it such a way, we've named it like this, sort of like naming a function, it's going to be easier for us to sort of like remember what something is. We don't have to go back to the activity and search through a long list to figure out what we're, you know, what we did like 10 days ago and find it and redo it again. We can just save it as a collection and then, well, rerun it whenever we want. And so if I do this as like, let's say get all, so this is going to be a get, let's say this is HTTP, localhost, we put our port, we put like tasks, this would get them all. Now I don't have a server running, so it's going to error out on me, but I can then save this. And if I quit, I come in the next day, I can just come up to collections, find this one, and go ahead and rerun it then. And this is pretty much everything we're going to need for most of our courses especially with Axum. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully this is helpful, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye. A little bit rambly there. I sort of like wanted to talk but didn't have anything to say, so I just said random things and then realized that I wasn't going anywhere, so I just trailed off and then started again, which not great. But it'll get me going for now, and I can re-record that later if I want. I definitely have my off days, and I felt like that was not a good one. But I'm not going to stop me from like just saying, hey, we're just going to do that for right now. Okay, so you are renaming you. That is Thunderclient. Okay. I wonder if, because I'm restreaming now, I wonder if like I can just upload things whenever I want to YouTube, because like technically I streamed it. That's probably fine. So let's see if I need to open up Firefox. Free turds, subscribe with Prime. Thank you for the subscription. All right, okay, so we have Thunderclient. I'm gonna go to the LMS course videos playlist. You become unlisted. Okay, so now I should be able to go over to YouTube and see that here. And put that right in here. Okay, so this is obviously going to be a very simple lesson. It's mostly go read some other stuff here, and you can watch me ramble on and do it myself. And I think that should be fine. And then we'll have to get some feedback from people to as to whether or not it's helpful to them. All right, so we're going to create an article, Thunderclient. Damn it, I did it again. I keep on forgetting that I have to copy and paste because I didn't put the plugin for my password. So now we get to do another emergency password reset. Where's my... Did I not put it in here? Okay, fine. Okay, successfully changed my password. Now I'm going to like select something random, copy it. That way I can't do that again. Our next project, dump random data to the clipboard after 10 seconds. I know, it's actually nice. I'm using 1Password, and they do have a feature where after like 10 minutes or so, it clears the clipboard if you use the copy feature, which is great. But it doesn't help if it's within like a minute because it still doesn't know if you used it or not. So it should be, we should probably do something more of like, how many times have I like dumped my own password into like something that you can all read and see. Because I have not been very good at that. It's like two times this week, I think. Really what I need to do is be able to write the article in the browser as opposed to write it and then copy it in. Or an upload. An upload would be good too. All right, what do I want to do? I'm going to come back to here. I'm going to recopy you. Put you in. There you go. Courses. Under client. Okay. All right, so you're happy again. Jim, what are we building today that needs to write an article? It's more of like, I have this LMS that I've created that allows me, well, I can put articles, course articles in it, assign it to a course, and then you could potentially come and like if you were to purchase this course, which right now you can't, I literally have not added the ability for anybody to purchase this, but you can come in and like read through the articles and the videos and go through it like right now. Like I've like considered, but I'm not really a big fan of early access. So like I don't think I want to like do an early sell for this course to like see, because it could still be a long time until I'm done, and it's just sort of going to be in like a weird state as I'm going through it. I don't know if there's any value in like giving people early access to this, but that would be it. Like make it easier for me to update, add articles, update them, do things like that. So it's something that I want to do eventually. Okay, so we got that. Which that means we can come to our plan and mark you as done. Okay. So that means all of you. Nope, nope, nope. Didn't want that. Headers is next. Okay, I don't have an article for it. Apple Stack Exchange. Someone's all you. Wait, what is this? Oh, it's the thing. Here's the version that will check for clipboard changes every 10 seconds. If there's a change, it will clear the clipboard after 10 minutes, but only if there were no new changes in the last 10 minutes. Oh, interesting. Okay, and it's a bash script. Oh, right, because I could just do pb paste. Oh, yeah, I could definitely do that. Yeah, we could definitely, like, it's very doable. Like, it's super easy to do. Theoretically, I could even do a command in chat that will allow you all to clear my clipboard, which would be hilarious. Especially if I'm like about to do something and you're like, clear it right when I try to do it. Do that one where like, yeah, we could do that. We can do that. Here, you know what? I'm going to write that as an idea. So write, so create like program system. Oh, I guess I'll just say allow chat to clear my clipboard. I'll remember what that means. That would be an interesting fun one. So that just like Dottie said, is added to my list of long list of projects that I will one day get to. I remember when streamers had it where you can close random windows or turn off the screen. Yeah, we rated somebody who had a 1,000, only 1,000. What is it? What are they called? Like the channel point cost for turning off the stream. And somebody did it. And like it actually turned off the stream automatically. And then like 10 seconds later or whatever, he comes back on. And I was watching it going like, that's really cheap for like a just shut the stream off. Like if I were to do that, I think I would have to do like a very expensive amount, like $1 million or more. Like it would be one of those like, no, you could pretend you're gonna do that. But I haven't like really figured out. Like the only person that I watched that has like really good fun stuff consistently with their channel points is Doug. It's like I keep on trying to think of like, what can I do with channel points to make it interesting? And then now I'm doing restreaming with YouTube. I wish that YouTube had a channel point type thing, because then I could like maybe add that in there too. And like say like, okay, it doesn't matter where you are, you can do something with that. It would kind of suck to say like, okay, YouTube, you're just out. Okay. Apparently, Oh, look at that. Restream bot completely failed again. Cool. A claiming for sudo rm-rf would be awesome. Oh man, like a channel point to like auto run that in like a if I was in a VM, so if I programmed in a VM and like then we can set it up where like just like all my progress since my last commit could be just removed. That could be fun if we like set up a cloud or like a cloud editor type system. Yeah, that could be a lot of fun. CM Griffin also had it where you could pick a tab and close it, but he removed it for us. Well, I mean, of course, like if I'm gonna give you all the ability to troll me, I know that you're going to take it. It's just too fun not to. I think it would be more interesting for me to be able to turn on different trolly ones. Like if I had the ability easily to switch on and off like groups of them, right? So I can say like, okay, we're in like a fun trolley stream. We're going to do some game dev. We're going to do some exploration. Here you could have a drop thing. We can just do like all sorts of stuff on the screen because like nobody really cares about what's going on. And it's okay if like you're all distracted by just everything else. And then there's the times where like I'm trying to do work or like we're trying to actually just like be focused a little bit more, then obviously we turn those off. Or I go the full just distract you all. And then I just focus on work. Like we could do that. Like I do like a programming stream where I just don't I don't have to pay attention to you all because you're distracted by stuff. Which of course might include you trying to distract me. Because otherwise it's probably not fun. I don't think, okay, headers. So, so I guess like sending and receiving. So, APIs often use headers to send and receive metadata about the request. So that could be like a really quick summary. Okay, what are we doing with this? By the end of this lesson, you will be able to, should I do like describe what headers are and where they are like on the request? I mean, maybe. So what's everything we need to know about headers? What are headers? What are headers? Why use headers? It's like why headers are important. Then extracting, okay, so extracting common headers or standard headers. So it's not extract, it's going to be extract standard headers in a, so didn't do this right. Okay, extract standard headers in a route handler. I want you to extract custom headers in a route handler. Discontinued. Oh, wait, ReStreamBot came back. Okay, cool. It took a break for a little bit of time. Discontinued. Hello, how are you doing today? Hey there, what is your web server on? So you're using Markdown, but what's converting them to HTML and making them into a static site? They're actually not being converted into a static site. What's happening is, so the site I have is here. So this is a U site. So I'm using U.rs, which is a front-end framework written in Rust. Think something very similar to React, if you're familiar with that. I'm using a tool called Marked, I think. It's been a while since I've loaded it up. I think it's Marked something, or Marked, or Marksman, or something like that. Basically, I do a GET request to my API when you load up, and it gets a content of all the articles that you have purview over in Markdown. And then when you click and like load up one of these articles, it then takes that and then renders it in the browser. So I am doing client-side rendering for all of these. They're very, very, very simple. So it's very, very cheap right now. Obviously, if you're loading this up on like a phone, it's going to be a little bit more expensive for you. But I expect that most people taking a programming course are going to be using this on a device larger than a phone. But that being said, I am sort of holding off until I'm doing, this is my MVP. I have metrics being gathered so I can see devices and like device sizes, and I can, once like I have enough people like have purchased courses, I can go through and like actually see what they're doing. But yeah, so it's all client side rendered. You haven't used but it's on a to-do list. Does it use the DOM or not? It uses the shadow DOM. It's like it is almost exactly the same behind the scenes. Obviously, there's some differences for like Rust than React. So like React uses shadow DOM, U uses the shadow DOM. And like you can use the same mental model for it. So like if you know Rust and you know React, you pretty much know U at that point. It's just syntax at that, at that level. And the syntax is very similar. I think this is everything that we need, right? So describe what headers are, describe what headers are important, extract standard headers in a route handler, extract custom headers in a route handler, respond with standard headers from a route handler, respond with custom headers from a route handler. So I think that's everything we need to do. Then we go into this. What are headers? I bet there are like a billion of these articles of like what are headers. I bet if we go to like MDN and look up headers, they probably have a better description, and I should just send them to this. That's the fetch API. That's not what I want. I was really hoping for this to, okay, no. Also, my quality is outstanding. You're surprised I'm not more popular. Well, thank you for that. There's a lot of there's a lot of things that I wasn't doing for a long time that prevented my popularity. I recently did sign up for a tool that's supposed to like help you sort of like understand and grow on YouTube. And so like there's something that I'm not doing that it's like definitely I should be doing. So like I have a Facebook account. I've not logged into it in years. Like I like one of the things like I probably should like advertise on there. I don't do a lot of social media presence type stuff. I should probably do a lot more there. Basically like if I start like doing more sales type funneling, I could probably grow a lot more. But that being said, I am growing a lot more right now than I was like a year ago. So something, you know, doing some things right. But thank you for that. I do have a cat cam. And you summon Zilby. He's in the room now. Zilby, do you want to come up here? You've been summoned. So one of my projects that I want to do, so again, another one of these, like maybe one day in my life we'll get to it, is like have a device that allows you all to ring a bell. It's like it would be an IoT device. Ring a bell, have like a little bit, tiny bit of like a food snack for Zilby, pop out, and the bell would have to be loud enough with a camera on it, with a live cam on it, that would then attract Zilby, and he would then come into the room to like go get the treat. Obviously, that's like a build thing. I know how to build it. I have like a lot of tools to do something like that. I just don't have the time. But that would be a lot of fun. Zilby, you wanna come here? Hi. Come here. Want to say hi? Want to come here? That is absolutely awesome, and you should do it. I know I want to do that. I just haven't had the time. Okay, so you don't want to hang out here too much. Someday. Again, one of my many projects that I want to do. Okay, so HTTP headers. Ooh, does this tell me what they are? Headers let the client and the server pass additional information with an HTTP request. Okay, so this is just a general about it. This is good, but it's a little bit more advanced. This is more like a lookup information. It's not bad. What are headers? Like an introduction. Probably, what are headers HTTP? Is there anything? Okay, Postman's articles might be good. Some of these other like domains I'm not super familiar with though. We need one of them old school recess bells. Yeah, that would like a little bell that he rings. That would be, or we ring and attracts him. That might be good. Ooh, okay. Oh yeah, the glossary from HTTP header. I think I saw that in a search. So I saw a glossary. Yeah, right here. This one. It's a field of an HTTP request or response that passes additional context and metadata about the request or response. A basic request with one header. Okay. Okay, this is not bad. It's like fairly simple, not too much. So I like that. So MDN, so what are headers? We'll just start like headers are small pieces of data, often describing or like I guess like often piece of data sent along with the request. I guess like along with the request to the server. They are they can range from describing what the request is about to authentication so like what the question is about, authentication to like just information about the sender, since they aren't part of the request, the context of the request, they are considered metadata. Read more about headers at. So MDN headers. Okay, so we have the headers definition. You're nervous to try a framework again. You haven't had the best experiences with them. You've been using Go, Rust, and HTMX for your websites currently. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's if you know like one or two frameworks, jumping into another framework isn't that hard. Like almost all of them are pretty similar to like get into, and like there's some of them like Leptos, for example, it uses signals. So like I guess if you know the basics of a signal framework, the basics of like sort of a React type framework, and like maybe like an HTMX or backend rendered framework, you know everything you need to do to jump into any other framework pretty quickly. Wait, you thought HTMX was a meme? It's real? It is real. So it's real. I have not heard of anybody using HTMX in production, especially with larger projects. But I have been hearing about people using HTMX in like side projects and like actually using it for real. And like people keep on asking about HTMX with like, you know, X technology. So it either is a huge number of people in the industry are just like this, the biggest troll that we've ever seen before, or most likely it's actually real. That being said, I don't know if I would like go with HTMX itself if I wanted that style of things. There's some other technologies that I would probably choose over it. Trying to write your first production ready project with it right now, which could be interesting. Yeah, if you come back and let us know how it goes, that would be great. I'm certainly interested in like hearing about it. Okay, so this was the glossary. Now what are HTTP headers? So this is a postman. Contains metadata in key pair. Okay, so that's pretty much what I said. Oh, this one includes like a description of like the most common ones. That's nice. I like even though it says how to use this with Postman, I still like it because the first part of this article is great. This is like a very gentle introduction to headers. So let's go with this. And then we have the MDN documentation. So it's a little bit less, but like depending upon your level taking this course, like you're going to get more out of one or more of these resources. And then I think that's probably good. Now, we in the video can go in a little bit more about it. But okay, so what are headers? We've got that. So why are, I guess like maybe a subsection to this. So we can go that one. Okay, so headers has the documentation linked from above states headers are important because let's see, what are the alternatives you would use over HTMX? So I guess like it depends upon what the goals are, right? So the big value prop that I understand from HTMX is a server-side rendered logic in code. I would probably not quite do it exactly that way. It'd be more of I create a server and I want it to render snippets of HTML, send that to the client, and have it injected into the DOM. So I'd probably use something like Leptos if I was using, well, actually any framework can do this just fine. It's like you can do React, Angular, Vue, Leptos, like all of that works that way. But I would probably use something like Leptos because it's gonna be faster. There's some other, I don't remember frameworks on JavaScript, but I'm sure there's a few that would be fast with this. And then I would then set up a server where I can request to it and it responds with HTML snippets. It's like, okay, I want like a new URL, like, sorry, not a URL. I want a new like list item for something. It just responds with like the actual HTML, and then I can just blindly drop that into the DOM. And as long as it's from my app, and I've like tested that and I have like the security cross-site checking like set up for that, I would be confident that I'm not about to just like do weird things. Hackert, hello, how are you doing today? Is that not what HTMX does though? Specifically, default behavior is whatever the API endpoint returns is what's swapped into DOM. Yeah, that's exactly what it does. It's fairly new technology though. And there's like almost all the other frameworks can do that, where you just grab something from a request and just dump it into the DOM. And so like if I can do that anywhere else, why not, right? I would just choose a framework that doesn't use Shadow DOM and you get speed. So like in Rust, that's going to be Leptos. And then for everything else, for like other frameworks, I'm not sure what those are because it's been a while since I've looked at them. So it's more of not necessarily using HTMX because I don't like it. It's more of not using it and giving it a little bit more time to make sure that it's like solid and gonna like continue to get supported. Because I wouldn't want to start using it as a project, then find out that the developer abandons it. So that's the only reason. I did once use Mavo. I created a fun little project with that and did a meetup talk on it. It was fun. That's very different from HTMX, but it's also like a JavaScript-less framework. Yeah, and that's the only it's one of the things that I consider when I'm like creating courses. That being said, like I eventually am going to get to the point where we're going to run out of like the more solid things to do, and therefore we'll have to switch to like creating courses on more fun modern tech, which is like, that will be interesting when we get to that point. That's when we'll be like, okay, let's do a course on whatever like the new thing like HTMX is. And we can do interesting things. It'll be probably more of a focus on keeping your skills up to date rather than a, hey, actually do this in production. It does have 20,000 plus stars. Hopefully there's enough following around for someone to take charge of it if there is an issue. Is there more than one? So I haven't looked at it on GitHub. Is there more than one developer who owns the project on GitHub who can like do pull requests? Because that's what we found out with Rocket. Rocket is an amazing project. It's amazing technology, and it looks and feels really good to work with. But there's only a single person who's running the project. They don't accept pull requests, and they disappear for months and months at a time because it's not like, well, it's an open source thing. They're not like making lots of money from it, or any money from it, as far as I can tell. And there's no interest in like bringing on a team to manage it. And when that happens to an open source project, it's really hard to recommend it because they could just disappear and then it's over. Sylvie, you want to go down there now? Okay. He wants to go down below the desk. So yeah, here's to hoping that it lasts for a long time. Because I do like the idea of more variety of types of frameworks. Because so far we've been getting a lot of people just doing like, and here's a React clone. And it's exactly the same as React. And as everything else, which is like not, it's good for the ecosystem, but I also wish there's more variety of types, which this is. Okay, so headers are important because they allow us to send data about the request. This is perfect if we okay, this is perfect for sending information like the user, like the user authentication token to access a protected route. Since to imagine to help explain or to help understand this, let's imagine that we have an API for a to-do API. We have an API for a to-do application. When we're creating a new task, we want to ensure that the user is logged in or is authorized. We have I guess like a couple choices. So we have a couple of choices for where to put the token. This is assuming that we have some kind of tokenized, some kind of token that that the front end gets after logging in. So what are our choices? So we have headers, obviously. So pass the token in a header. Cookies are in headers. So so a cookie based auth system works for this, like counts as a header. Let's see. The problem with HTMX is large projects. You just end up with 100,000 plus line files. So people have been using component libraries to share the code. Then you end up going full circle. And yes, 100,000 plus is a bit of an exaggeration, but until you get some tooling, it'll be almost impossible for anything larger than a hobby project. And that's like, to me, HTMX feels like it's one of those next like stepping stone projects where somebody is going to get inspired by HTMX to create the real thing that we're all going to use. Like, we're probably not going to use HTMX in like 10 years, but what we might use is something that creates like true web components that is inspired by HTMX, like a builder tool that allows us to create like full stack web components. That would be pretty interesting. Sylvie, it's okay. I'm just moving the camera so everybody can see you because you're the real star of the show. And everybody knows it. He is sitting next to the heater hoping that it gets warm, but it's not going to because it is in the expensive electricity time. Okay, so we can pass the token to header, put the token in the URL as a query parameter. Yeah, query parameter. Pass like include. So I guess I could just say like header. Query parameter. And then the body. So body. I think that's the three things, right? There's path, but I guess we could do that. So path parameter. This one makes the least sense whatsoever. Body is the one I see the most besides header. And then I've also seen query parameter too. I guess like in the order that I see them in, header is the, is it, it's probably controversial for me to say that this is the right answer. But I would say that this is to me, if I was working on a team, this is the right answer for my team, wherever I am. I would go in this order for like best to not best. Okay, so since we are attempting, or since the user is to create a task, the body of the request should only contain information about the task to be created. Since the user token is not part of the task, it doesn't make sense to force the route handler to separate out the user token from the task. Query parameters might, I think like it's just easy to do, like it's easier to do it in a header. Query parameters, so query and path parameters are possible to use. However, some browsers do limit the number of characters that we can have in them. Although like modern browsers do give us something like 10,000 plus characters easily, and there's no way that you're gonna run out of that. That being said, it is kind of annoying if you want to like share a URL out and it has like a full jot in it. That sucks. However, some browsers do limit the number of characters that we can have in them. And it becomes a pain / possible security problem if the user shares that URL with like with social media or something, with anybody else. Passing the key, the token in the header is the best. Should I just go ahead and just say like it is the best? In the header is the best. Ooh, you know what? I vaguely remember. So Google authentication header. They wrote a white paper years ago about why to use headers. So Google when to use HTTP headers, or like what data. I vaguely remember this. It was from like a Google blog. This was a long time ago, so it's gonna be tough for me to find it because there's so much more stuff. Okay, so I can't easily find it. Passing a token is the best solution here. Since the route handler can extract the headers separately from the body, and validate that the user is authorized to create the task without needing to worry about the contents. I'm not sure about that though, considering most of the HTMX side of things is just adding a class to your own form elements. Or are you talking about the server side of things? Yeah. Oh, for like the HTMX type, like the backend. I think once we start getting into like more advanced, sort of like if you're building a full app, oftentimes the stuff you don't want to just like do a simple injection. You want to like full do change. So that's going to end up being, well, like if you're just having like simple pages, you usually want like a bunch of different functions to run, and that's you like on HTMX for like injecting that, you like click on something, you want something to happen. So it's going to reload the page, right? It's going to go back to the back end, run a function, inject the code so that usually is like an HTTP request. Go, figure out what it is, render a tiny little snippet, and then inject it back in. Or a full page request where it goes back and says, hey, I want this new change, give me the old stuff. And that's the old style of the web. Like where you see like the page flash and then it just re-rendered the entire thing and sent it back out. And that's sort of like the question is like, well, does that make sense? And the answer is like, maybe it makes sense. Maybe it doesn't. Okay, passing the token and header is the best solution here since the route handler can extract the header separately from the body and validate that the user is authorized to create the task without needing to worry about the contents of the body. My spell check will capture that later. All right. All headers. So everything other than the base URL part. So like the base URL, the domain, the subdomain, is it path? Not the path. Oh, no, it would be the path. So everything. So I guess everything listed above. Everything listed above is encrypted with the TLS version with TLS. So we don't need to worry about the token being visible on the wire as long as we have HTTPS configured. This includes that's like a common concern that I've heard is like, well, are headers really like encrypted? Shouldn't I like put in everything else? Or maybe like the other one would be like query parameters, because those are all encrypted. Like everything besides the normal part of the URL is encrypted and nothing can see it as long as TLS isn't broken. Obviously, if the encryption is broken, that is a different story altogether. Okay, so I think that's for like why headers are important. I don't know if I need to, I might just not use that, and just that this is all like wet headers, and so that goes into both of these. Let's just remove that. What are headers? And so then we're going to go into extracting standard headers in a route handler. So then we'll do extracting headers. Okay. That being said, I have a meetup to go to. There's a leadership meetup in town that is tonight, and I want to go hang out with some of my network and go say hi, make sure that people still know that I exist in town, and that means I'm gonna have to go off and take off and go do that. We're a little bit past, well, no, we're just running up to my normal stop time anyway, so it's perfect. So that being said, I will be back tomorrow morning at around 7 a.m. Mountain Time to continue working on this. I think we're gonna write the rest of the headers article here. We're gonna read through it, make sure it makes sense, run it through a spell checker, make sure it catches all those things like woo, and then we'll record a video. So whether or not that's all tomorrow morning or just part of it, we'll see. Anyways, thank you everybody again for hanging out with me today. And I hope that you all have a great rest of your Wednesday. And I will see you next time. Bye.